Hey everybody, welcome back to my van. Well, if you saw my previous video, I'm talking about the top 7 things that I like about my van and the top 7 things that I would change in my van. And in today's video, it is the 7 things that I would change if I redid my van. So why am I doing this? Well, my van is 7 years old. It's a 2017 Ford Transit. I've been in it for 7 years. Before that, I was in other things: Class C motorhome, truck camper, tent trailer, tents, sleeping in the back of a truck. I've been in a lot. So when I built this van, I knew a lot of what I wanted. And a lot of the stuff I did in here, I love. But there are some things that I would change. So what are the top 7 things for the 7 years that I've had this van that I would change? Number 1, the big one, I would buy an all-wheel drive van if I was to do it again. Is it needed? Not at all. Believe me, it's not needed. Is it a benefit to what I do to have it? Big time. Big benefit. Why? I live in southern Alberta, Canada. It's snowy here 6-8 months of the year, and I go to the mountains quite often, and having all-wheel drive is just a security measure, a security blanket to just make it a little bit better for me. Again, do I need it? No. If you have a van, an RV, an ambulance, a bus, expedition vehicle, if the weather gets too bad, you can just stay where you are and weather it out. But it's nice to have the all-wheel drive. Number 2, second thing is, my van is a 2017 Ford Transit, 148-inch wheelbase, medium roof. I love it. It's great. It's wonderful. It's fabulous. Perfect size for me. I can stand up in it. It's great. But I think if I did it again, I would go with a high roof. Now, I've debated this a lot. I love my medium roof because it's easier to drive than a high roof. I don't catch the winds like we have here in southern Alberta when I'm driving as bad. But, and here's the big but, I would have a high roof so I could have my bed up a bit higher, so I could still sit up in my bed like I'm doing now, but I could put my bikes underneath the bed. I carry 2 bikes, an electric bike and a mountain bike. I have a health condition, so some days I have to ride the electric bike. Other days I'm able to ride the mountain bike. But they're hanging off the back of my van all the time. And just as a security thing, it would be nice to have them in the van. So the next thing would be, I would go with a high roof. I'm pretty sure I'd have to take one for a test drive, but I think that I would probably end up going with a high roof just for that benefit, just for that storage. Now, if you watch my previous video, you're going to know one of my big benefits is my fridge. It's also one of the things that I would change. What would I change? I would get a bigger fridge. I don't know if I would go double the size I have. It's quite a small fridge. It's small. I think it's the smallest one you can get with a freezer. But I think I would go at least a third bigger, maybe double the size of it if I could relay out the van. And why? Because I can carry lots of food in it, but there's some things that are just difficult to carry in it. So having that little bit of extra space would be a huge benefit for me. All right, so what's the next one? Well, the next one has to be also what was a benefit, and that's the insulation. I put a lot of insulation in this van. I think I would even go a little bit more than what I did when I built it. Why? Because there's some areas in the van, the door especially, the back doors especially, that I would do differently to get more insulation. Now, I know how I would do it. I've considered doing it in this van, and behind me I've considered putting in a wall between the doors and where I sleep to create more of a insulation value back there. On the side door, I think I would hang a curtain there to get more insulation. And I can do these things, but I haven't done them yet. But I would recommend going with the most insulation you can possibly get, and it's definitely a benefit. All right, so what's the next thing? Well, I would put an inverter in here, something that I could run a convection cooktop, and it would be a great benefit for me. It really would. It would open a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities. So that would be another thing that I would improve upon. All right, what's the next thing? Well, I have a bathroom in here, but I've seriously missed having a shower when I'm in certain locations. You can go to a shower and spend a couple loonies. Up here, that's dollars. And you can have yourself a shower. But again, it's so nice having your own shower. So I've seriously considered, if I did rebuild a van, to go with a bigger bathroom and have a wet shower or a wet bath in there. And I think I would go that way. And finally, the one last thing is that I would seriously consider putting a hot water tank in my van. Now, there's a reason I didn't put the hot water tank in the van. I wanted a water system that was easy to use. I wanted a water system that I didn't have to winterize in the winter, that I could use it when it was 30 below and that stuff wasn't running outside, that I didn't have tanks outside. So I decided not to put a hot water tank in. I decided not to put a lot of water storage in here. But I think I'm on the fence about this, but I think on my next van, if I did a complete new build with a higher roof and everything and a bigger bathroom for a shower, I would definitely put in the hot water tank. There's been some times I missed it. And when you do miss it, it's a big, I sure wish I had it. Boiling water gets boring after a while and gets a little bit repetitive. But at the same time, I so much love not having to winterize a vehicle in the wintertime. My winterization takes me about 10 seconds to do. If I had a hot water tank, no matter what type you have to somehow winterize it. So yeah, that would be my next thing. So I hope that helped. I hope that gave you some ideas as to what you can improve on your build or in your unit. And that, hey, you'll watch the other video too and see what I really love about my van. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.